Hello and welcome to another episode of Andy's Shed Live. This is Series 7, Episode 24 for Sunday, the 12th of July 2020. Hello there, good afternoon, good evening or good morning if you're in certain parts of the world. Hello there and welcome to the show once again. It's another episode of Andy's Shed Live here, and as you can hear by the whirring and away that's going on behind me, there's more 3D printing going on. Still working on 009 scale railway rolling stock. The latest creation that we've had this week is Hudson tubs, Hudson tippy tubs. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, and the tub even tips on it as well, so you can tip the tub. I'm going to do a bit of a redesign on what I did last week, because the chassis of my coaches doesn't fit the wheels that I got very well. I had a package arrive, and the package has got in it various things. It includes these little wheels. I don't know if you can see that. I'll get one out for you. These wheels are made by Graham Farish. They are coach or wagon wheels made by Graham Farish, and you get 10 axles worth of these wheels for about a tenner, so about £1 an axle. Not particularly cheap in my opinion. But they go under these coaches, and they're a bit of a loose fit under the coaches. These don't fit very well under the printed underframes that I'd done, and I'd already improved the printed underframes cosmetically. So the wheels are a bit of a loose fit underneath them. If I can hold one of those up under the other camera there, and I can and you can see they are a bit of a not very good fit. They move about and wobble about in there quite a lot. So I've redesigned the holes in the back of the axle boxes here that the pinpoints fit into, and the ends of the axles. So hopefully, says he, that will solve the problem of the wheels. And the first redesign, will be coming off the printer fairly soon. It's 74% done at the moment, so that's the first wheel redesign that is going to be coming off the printer there. Christopher 2000 over there in the southern hemisphere says hi. Hi Chris, and good morning, because you're one of the people it is morning for. Hello there. More telephone stuff coming up a little bit later in the show, but as well as designing these little Hudson tubs that we've done, we've now also got open coaches as well as enclosed coaches. Can you see that? That's an open one, as well as enclosed ones. That's the body for an enclosed one, of course, and there's going to be other types as well coming along, and the body just fits on the chassis like that. It's the easiest kit in the world to build. But as I say, we're altering the chassis so the wheels fit better. One thing I am having trouble with them at the moment is with couplings for them. You can see I've got quite a few now, and we're trying out different sorts of couplings at the minute and finding ways to couple them up and couple them together. Right, before I go any further, I'd better tell you, as we normally do, if you want to get in touch with us here at the show, you can do. You can either comment below, either on YouTube or on Library. if you want to, or if you don't want to do the commenting thing and you want to send me a message, get in touch with me using the contact form on our website, which you'll find here, andyshed.corepress.net, and you'll find a contact form for us there. If you want to send me a photo or anything, as Chris did the other week, then yeah, get in touch with us there. Send us a message on there, and then I will get back in touch with you with an email address where you can send photos to. So obviously you can't send photos off it if it's a contact form. I've just found a little pin that I've got to put away. These little pins escape. They're out of something called Greenwich Couplings or Greenwich Couplings that we're trying for these little coaches, and the couplings are really fiddly to put together. Really fiddly. Here's one on the end of this coach kit. That little black coupling on the end of there, they are mega fiddly to put together. Mega fiddly. Let's get it in focus again for you. That thing there, they are absolute nightmare to put together. I've got to cut the end off that pin there, but you can see a pin goes through it to make this bit so it lifts up, and it's an absolute pain to do, but yeah, I'll get back to you on how successful those couplings are. Returning into the world of telephones, while I just refocus me the camera again. Christopher 2000 says, do you know when the Ericsson N1034 76B1 phone was made? Because I got one last week. 1034 76B1. I think that's an N1034. Not sure what the 76B1 is. But I can do a little bit of research if you just bear with me one moment, and I'll have a look. I just need to check see what Ericsson N1034 is. Right, oh, it's one of those. Ah, right. Right, for anybody who's not sure what an Ericsson N1034 is, I will attempt to show it to you. Just bear with me 1 second. That window there, right, okay. Show it in a minute. Alright, there you go. This is from the website BritishTelephones.com, which is quite a good website for looking these sort of things up. And S07E24. These telephones, known as 1000 type, because of their suitability for lines of up to 1000 ohm loop resistance, are the complete answer to modern needs, it says. This is obviously a bit of garb from the time. They are efficient in operation, shapely and compact, and are made in the following colours to suit any scheme of interior decoration. High transmission efficiency is achieved by using a new type handset containing a rocking armature receiver in conjunction with a closed iron circuit type of anti-cytone induction coil. So yeah, that is what they are. Now, does it tell me on here when they were made? 1034 near the bottom there, and it was supplied to BR Western region, used as Plan 1 extensions introduced in 1959, and 1034 supplied to ET Sydney, used as secretaries' telephones, introduced in 1959. Now Chris, being as you're in Australia, I'm guessing yours is an N1034 did you say it was an A1T? No, you didn't. 103476B1. Don't know what that is. But yeah, it's looking like around about 1959 is when they came out, I would say. So yeah, I would say we're looking at late 50s there. I have got one or two of those. There's a story about those phones. I actually got a load of them. I think it was off eBay, and I can't remember where I went to pick them up, but they were outside in a garden, at the top of a garden, under a tarpaulin, and I think I got about 20 or 30 of them piled up in this garden, like in a compost heap in the garden, under a tarpaulin, absolutely wet through. Not in very good condition, but I did get a lot of them, so I've been gradually going through them, trying to make good ones out of the bits, sort of thing. And I think I've got about 3 or 4 good ones out of them so far. Valakoruk says, "Hi Andy, what's up?" I know that. I hope I pronounced that right, Valakorux. Yeah. I'm good, thanks. Well, what's up with you? Christopher says, no, that's not the one. Mine looks like a 706. Oh, right. So, if it looks like a 706, it's got to be 1957 onwards. Yeah, 706. I think the 706 design came out about 59. They were playing with the internals from 1957 onwards, but I think the externals of the 746 came out in 1959. So you're going to be talking 60s then. You're going to be talking 60s, but I wouldn't have thought it would be a 1034, because obviously that is a 1034 according to what it says here. The one on the left on that picture there is an N1031A, and the one on the right is N1034A. So what have you got there, Chris? 1034 76B1. Right, let me try typing it into Google and let's see what happens. And 1034 76B1. There, one of those. Haha, that's your video. Right, let's click on it and see what happens. This is probably not going to play because the computer's doing so much by trying to stream that I doubt it can also play the video at the same time. But, so there, right, Yeah, right, now there's a few things about that. Alright, can I make that image bigger? Yes, I can. Right, some oddball things about that. For a start, it looks like the chevrons, which are the little arrowy things inside the holes in the finger wheel, it looks like they're kind of 3D effect. And I've not seen those in conjunction with coloured finger wheels before. I've only generally seen that in conjunction with clear finger wheels. Now, the fact it's got a coloured finger wheel makes you think it's fairly old, but not that old, because earlier in the 60s Ericsson used dial 12s with stainless steel finger wheels, and I've got one on my desk here, although the one that I've got here is not an Ericsson one, I don't think. I think this is a GEC one, but it's very similar. Yeah, but you see, this, look, is very similar. Now this one's got a dial 12 on it. If you look at the shape of the finger stop on mine, here you see it's curved on both sides. It's got numbers sort of behind the finger wheel, and the finger wheel is stainless steel, and it's held on with a ring here, like a ring clip type thing. Now, your one, look at the finger wheel on yours, and if I make it bigger again, the finger wheel on yours has got one straight side on it, which tells me that's a dial 21. Now, not a dial 12. Now, the dial 21 came in around about 1961, 62-ish, I believe. It certainly wasn't around for the very first of the 706s. It then came along, and it came along with the plastic coloured finger wheel, which it looks like you've got there. So it looks like you've got that plastic coloured finger wheel. What's interesting is the dial label in the centre here. You should, if that's an original, you should get that dial label off by putting a screwdriver under this side here and sort of twisting the screwdriver, and then that will flick out. If there isn't a little hole in the back of the finger wheel there to put a screwdriver in, you know, sort of underneath the finger wheel, then up through a little hole to flick the dial label off. If there isn't a hole in it, then it means that finger wheel is a modern replacement, but I don't think it is. So I think that's probably fairly original. I'm going to guess it is 63, 64, 65-ish, assuming all the bits in it are original. So I reckon that's probably sort of mid-60s-ish, I would say, on that. But yeah, it's quite a nice one, that, and it's an unusual combination of things. Do you know anything about the history of it? Is going to be my next question. Do you know where it came from or anything? Oh, it says he got the model number on the circuit board inside the phone. So it's not written on the bottom of the phone then. What's on the bottom? Is there anything written underneath it? Because I can't play your video at the minute because we're doing the streaming, It'll all crash if I try and play a video as well. So is there anything written underneath the phone, Chris? Actually on the base of it? I'm guessing it's probably got a plastic base, has it, being an Ericsson. So we'll find out from him in a minute. But yeah, that is a typical, what I would call a 706 clone phone. That because it looks like a 706, but there are various reasons it's not a 706 that we've gone into before, but I shall go through it again. It's just got numbers around here. See on this dial bezel, it's just numbers. If that was a 706 that had been issued by the GPO, it would have letters around there as well as numbers. It also wouldn't have these three-dimensional chevrons. It would either have a blank what they call finger plate, which goes behind the finger wheel, and it would either be blank black to match the finger wheel, or it would be black with white printed arrows on it, or it would be numeric of the type that they later put into 746s. But generally it would be the blank for early 60s, or it would have printed chevrons, white arrows on a black background for sort of mid 60s onwards. Right, Chris says it's got N1970 on the base. Right, okay. So what you've got is actually an N1970. Now this is a complicated thing about Ericsson, because all their part numbers begin with an N. All Ericsson's part numbers begin with an N. So you'll find inside the phone various things with N something on them. And the entire phone is also a thing in the Ericsson catalogue that begins with an N. So what you've actually got is what's on the base. The thing on the circuit board is just a part number for the circuit board. So on the base you've got N1970. So if we now go and have a look at BritishTelephones.com for an N1970, or anywhere else for that matter, which I'm hoping we can do if I just swap the view over. So it's N1970. Yeah, and it's British Telephones at the top again. It's an N1970, and there it is. And the picture there, the little picture there, you see, is actually what I was saying about an early one with the dial 12 with the curved finger stop, and also it's got the stainless steel finger wheel on it. So it's a table telephone for use on auto exchange lines, available in all the standard 7 colours, and components are mounted on a board that is fitted behind the dial. Fitted behind the dial. Yeah, well, I suppose they are, aren't they? They're all fitted behind the dial. But yeah, there's not a great deal on it, on that one, but it's an N1970, and you've got an N1970B 36T. That's N1970A. So I don't know if we put N1970B, and if we get anything else. Yeah. N1 N. No, I mean these are diagram numbers, I think, though, not Ericsson. Oh, they might be. N1970 we're looking for, aren't we? N1. N1970A and 1970B. So it says it's as N1970A but with bell volume control. Okay, so you've got a volume control on the bell. Now that would be interesting, because I've got no idea how they did that. I know they did it on 746s, but I don't know how they did it on 706s. I've never seen a 706 with one on. So on a 746, they did it with a little plastic switch at the front here that you slid sideways. And basically all it did was just mute the bells a bit. But I've got no idea how they did it. I've not seen it done on what is basically a derivative of a 706. So I think you've got quite a rare one there, Chris. It says the dial is attached to the circuit board. The dial is attached to the circuit board. You mean by wires or physically attached somehow? Like the circuit board is actually bolted to the back of the dial? Not quite sure about this. But yeah, the dial's got to be attached to the circuit board normally by 5 or 6 wires, is it? It says no, it doesn't have a bell volume control. It should, according to that website, because it's an N1970B, and according to that website, N1970B says auto and CB, so auto and central battery. It's got a plastic base, it's table telephone, and it says AS N1970A here, but I assume that means as 1970A, but with bell volume control. So it should have a bell volume control. I wonder if it's been messed about with at some point. I wonder if you know, it's had bits put together from other phones, because this is the big problem with 706s and 706 type phones, that all the parts are interchangeable. So bits off one can end up on another, and it can be a little confusing, shall we say, to say the least. So that can happen. But yeah, it's a nice phone. I can't fault you there. It's a good one. Klaus says good evening. Hello, Klaus. Welcome to the show. You may have noticed it's gone a little bit quieter here. That is because the printer has stopped. It has printed out my new chassis for this 009 coach that we're doing. So moving swiftly from phones back to model railways again, and we'll probably switch back again as well in a minute. So there it is. That's what it prints out as. If I can get that under a camera and show you there. Hang on. That's how it prints out. It prints out on this base, you see. And what we then have to do is put that on there like that. And then we have to get this thing that looks for all the world like a paper scraper to get it off that backing, so you sort of put that under there and sort of unstick it from the bed of the printer like that. So there it is, unstuck. So put that macking in it and then put this back on the printer ready for the next thing. And this is held on with nothing more complex than a little bulldog clip. If it's been successful, I'll set it off doing another one, but we'll find out in a minute. So what's everybody been up to this week? Have we all been having fun? Here in the UK, they're easing lots of lockdown restrictions, but they're on about making us all wear face masks now. Why didn't they, if face masks do any good, why did they not do that like months ago? Because our incredibly inept NHS wouldn't have had any for themselves because they're not organised. Right, so this is what's come off the printer, and what happens is you have to then pull it apart sort of thing to get the waste off it, and that's one bit of the waste, and there's another bit here. So that then all comes off, because that is just what supports the thing, and the holes for the wheels are looking quite good. There's some more waste on there, so what I have to do now is get a little pair of side cutters and get these bits out of here, so that bit comes out, and then there's just a little bit left in the middle of here that we can just pull out like that. So there is the thing. Now what we need to do now is to find out if those wheels fit it any better than they fit this. So I'll borrow them out of this one, which they were in. And see if they will fit any better than this one. And that has moved. That wheel has moved on the axle. That's rubbish, Graham Farish. How useless is that? It completely moved on the axle, so the wheel back to back measurement is now totally wrong on that. How rubbish is that from Graham Farish? Perhaps don't buy Graham Farish wheels. Right, so we'll try and get it now to fit in here. Now the problem is this plastic is quite hard, so it's very difficult to manoeuvre these axles into place. But once I can get it in the hole, I think it will work. Now normally on model railways the bogies or the side frames that your axles go into are made out of a sort of nylon material that is a bit bendy. This is not bendy at all, which is why I'm having a bit of a struggle with it. I wonder if I can help it in with a thing. And again, it's moved. Again, it has moved on the axle. Graham Farish, your wheels are pants. Really are so bad. Yeah, if I can just open that up a bit now. What's happened is I've broken it off, but maybe that's a good thing, because now I can install the wheel in both ends and just glue that back into place, and then we've got the wheel set in. So with the magic of a bit of super glue, which I just happen to have here, I'll tell you, this is kind of happening on the edge of the frame. This camera's not in a brilliant position, so what I can do is put a tiny bit of super glue there where it's going to go. Put that end into that axle box. Put that end into that axle box. And glue that back on. And immediately I can see that is running perfectly. So maybe that's the way to do it. Maybe you deliberately break them, but there's no play at all now in that. I don't know if you can see now, but you see there's no very tiny side to side bit of play, but it runs beautifully. So let's try and stick another axle in there. Did I get the other one off that coat? Oh, it's there, yeah. Right. So, will it go in without actually having to physically break it? Or have I got to break an axle box off again to get it in there? It's sort of halfway in. Yeah, it's in that one. And again, running beautifully. Right, oh sorry, you're out of focus. I hadn't realised. But yeah, that's it. It's in now, and look, running beautifully. So I can put a body on that, like so. There we have it, running very nicely, and because it is on pinpoint bearings now, it will be slightly higher, that coach, than the one that was a bit sloppy in its bearing. So yeah, I think we can call that a success. Put the top on the super glue while I think about it. Yeah, we'll call that a success. And as we're calling it a success, we'll set the printer going to do another one. So we go on there, print from card, graph our chassis, go, and it's heating up, and when it's heated up that will start wearing into life again. Oh right, Chris will be on. Chris says, do you know when the Ericsson C1711 switchboard was made? Because I got one last week. I don't actually. I don't know anything about Ericsson switchboards really. So sorry, can't help you with that one. And it says the dial is attached to the circuit with screws in the phone. So the dial is attached to the circuit board. You know, physically attached, not just by wires. It's physically attached, is it? Very interesting. I think you ought to take the top off that and take some photos, because it sounds like that's quite an interesting one, Chris. Quite different to how they do it in the N1900s and that we have over here. If you want to see a video about Ericsson 1900s, get on my channel, either on YouTube or Library, and type in something like Ericsson 1900, and there's a video about how to spot clones of 706s and that. I've got various different types, all in a row in the video. So yeah, it sounds like an interesting one. I think you might have to take some photos and send us some photos so we can show everybody some photos of that. In the meantime, here's all the rubbish from the 3D print. You see, it does make quite a lot of rubbish and that, but you do get some nice little coaches out of it. That's running beautifully, that one. I'm really impressed with that now. So as I've now decided to redesign the chassis, actually that's not a very good body, that one. So I'll put on a decent body for that good chassis there. And we'll then put that to one side. That's the sort of first one we've got on the new easier to work with chassis. Right. Chris says he sent a video of the phone on email showing the inside. I'll have to check my emails, Chris. Again, I can't do it while we're live streaming, because if I do, the computer will go crazy, because it's just more than the computer can handle, I'm afraid. It's not very good at multitasking, this computer. It's getting a bit long in the tooth, so it doesn't do multitasking terribly well. So these little chassis things, the ones with the big holes in the back, they're the ones that we're going to be replacing with new ones. We've got smaller holes in the back and actually fit the wheels better. Cool. Right, so how long have we been on? About 45 minutes. By the way, if you're watching this on Library and you're wondering where the last few episodes are before this one, it's because they've run to over an hour, and I've discovered this week that Library doesn't auto-sync with YouTube any videos for small creators that are over an hour. It only does them under an hour. So like YouTube, Library seems to favour the huge creators, not the little people like me. So I will have to manually upload them to Library, but I will get them on there. If you're not sure what Library is, because I do talk about Library quite a lot, Library is a kind of YouTube alternative. Go to lbry.com if you want to find out more about Library. If you just want to watch the videos without having to download any clients or anything, then go to lbry.tv and search for Andy Shed, all one word, on there, and you should be able to find it. Shall we have a go, just to prove that it should be possible? Right, well, we'll have a go, shall we? If I go and do that, we'll go back there, and I need to move that, and I go to lbry.tv. It should come up any minute. Let's say it takes a while because it's asking the computer to do rather a lot. But they are gradually populating. And then you just go up it at the top of the search here and go Andy's Shed, all one word and all lowercase, and do a search on it. Then you see I come up here. This is me here. Andy Shed, 188 publishers, and you can then go there, and there we are, and there you see the last episode that went live on there was season 7 episode 20 at 58 minutes 41 seconds, because all the others since then have ended up just over an hour, and because they've ended up just over an hour, it means that they've not automatically uploaded. So I need to work on that to get them to automatically upload, or to upload them manually. I think I'll end up doing it manually to get those ones on there. Right, the printer is off again. It's printing its raft for the next chassis. I think that about wraps it up for today. My thanks once again to everybody for watching. If you have got any more questions or anything that you want the answers to, please do get your questions in now. And I'm going to close Library because it's making everything go strange. Alright, has that calmed things down again? Oh, right. Christopher says his switchboard is the same as mine on series 5 episode 12. Right. Series 5 episode 12. I'll have to go back and have a look at that. I can't remember what was that. A wooden one? Was that a wooden one with keys on the front? I can't remember. That wouldn't have been on series 5, would it? How long have I had that? Dominic Meakin is now in the chat. He says, hello Andy, I've recently come across an early 722L 1968 with the early lettered dial plate. The dial seems to sit a bit loose in the plastic cradle. Any suggestions? Right, that's 722L. Right, the dial sits loose in the plastic cradle, it says. I'm just looking at that. Right, just bear with me 1 second, because I just have to sort of fish it out that and have a little look. It's a trim phone, isn't it? A 722. Right, and the dial sits loose in the plastic cradle. I believe what you are meaning is that the dial is that the cradle is loose in the bottom of the phone. Is that what I'm thinking you're meaning? That the dial should sit in a kind of plastic cradle in a trim phone with like 4 feet on it, and the feet, 2 of the feet sort of hook under the upper circuit board. If you take a trim phone apart, you'll know what I mean, because there's like 2 separate circuit boards, one of which is slightly higher than the other. So 2 of the feet, they've got like hooks on the end, hook under the upper circuit board, and the 2 that haven't got hooks on the end sit on top of the lower circuit board, sort of thing. And then the dial sits in this thing, and I think they are loose. I think it's just how they are, because when you put the case on the top, there's a little cutout in the case where the finger stop goes through, and that will then stop the dial rotating. So they are a bit loose, but I don't think they should be loose when you put them back together again. I'll fish one out and try and get it on here in the next couple of weeks or so, and we'll have a look inside one again. But yeah, that's the one. Chris says yes, it's the Wood Switchboard. Right, the wooden switchboard, was that way back on Series 5? My God, it doesn't seem like that long ago. Yeah, right, the wooden switchboard. They were certainly in use into the 1960s, possibly some were still in use into the 1970s, but I think they're a creation of the 1920s or 1930s. They had an incredibly long life, those little switchboards. And again, it's a bit like 706s. They were made for the GPO, General Post Office, by various companies, one of which was Ericsson, and of course they probably made their own private ones as well. Yeah, so you're talking somewhere, let's play safe and let's say it's wartime. But yeah, if it appeared in a wartime type film or something like that on the TV or whatever, it wouldn't be out of place. But they were certainly still around in the 1960s. The wiring in them is something to behold. If you need to rewire it, good luck. Because it's normally